Hello, one and all, to another episode of Depot's Den. We are now officially into week 2 of the NFL season. I am your host, as always, Evan DePasquale, and obviously, we're going to be talking a lot about what happened week 1, mainly the lay an egg that was Monday Night Football, Bills Jets. And that's where we're going to start off this episode of Depot's Den. The Bills sucked. That's really, if you want to put it in simple terms, the Bills sucked. They did not look good really at all, even though they had a 10-point lead at halftime. Watching that Jet game, even when Aaron Rodgers went out 4 plays into the game, that is not good. If you are a Bills fan, that's the second time this in the last 2 years that Zach Wilson beat the Bills. And to me, that's pretty embarrassing that you lost to Zach Wilson. Now, I'm not trying to, disrespect the kid, but he is not really a good quarterback. Let's be fair. If any Jet fan wants to come at me and say, "How dare you disrespect our quarterback?" Whatever. Zach Wilson is not a good quarterback, in my opinion. And that's what I love about sports. We can all have opinions, but in the end, we love sports. But, anyways, for me personally, I just felt like the Bills were just trying to make this hype machine almost like just go away. That's basically what I felt like I was watching. The Josh Allen, we'll get into it. Let's get into the stats for the game. Josh Allen, he went 29 of 41 for 236, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. That's my big issue is 3 interceptions because you're giving not only the ball back to them, but you're also giving them pretty solid field position. I mean, on the fumble that he had, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. That was gut wrenching. Just every 3 interceptions. I will say the Bills are a good enough team to where Josh Allen could throw 3 interceptions and they still could win the game. And they almost did. They almost beat the Jets. Now, credit it was without Aaron Rodgers, but still, I give some props to the Bills that they were able to be able to come into a hostile environment. Everybody's hyped about Aaron Rodgers coming in and that this is going to be their like Super Bowl year. A lot of people were thinking that this is going to be the year that they finally put it all together and finally win a Super Bowl. Now that didn't happen. Obviously, 4 plays into the game, that did not happen. Um, I'm not going to cookie cut it again. Josh Allen sucked, and he played like crap. Now, the one touchdown was a pretty nice typical Josh Allen touchdown, rolling out to his right and at the very last second throwing the ball and hitting someone in the end zone, whether it was Dawson Knox in the playoff game against New England, um, Gabe Davis against New England last year on Thursday Night Football, and then on Monday night. I almost said last night. Sorry, I was planning on doing this on Tuesday, so forgive me. I was up really late after the game because I had to write stories for WGR. I didn't get I didn't get home till like 1:30 in the morning. So, um, but I will make sure to get these done every week, especially before Thursday Night Football. That's what like my rule is going to be. But Zach Wilson, he went 14 of 21 for 140 yards, did have a touchdown in the game and an interception. James Cook led the Bills on the ground with 12 carries for 46 yards. Brees Hall led all running backs with 10 carries for 127 yards, including there was that big one of 80 plus yards that got them from like they were backed up to their own 5 yard line and they got all the way to the Buffalo 12. So let's say a long run, and of course my stupid ass had him um on my bench in my fantasy league. So he didn't score a touchdown, but if he had scored a touchdown, I would have been even more upset. He had 15 points, but anyways, Stephon Diggs, he led all receivers with 10 catches for 102 yards and the one Bills touchdown. Garrett Wilson, he had 5 catches for 34 yards and an incredible touchdown catch. He just bobbled the ball. What great concentration by Garrett Wilson, honestly. And in my personal opinion, Tre'Davious White could not have played that ball any better. That ball was, I think he even got a hand on it. So if anybody's going to say, oh, that was terrible coverage by Trey White, that should never have happened. Sometimes people let up touchdowns, and that was a pretty good freaking catch. So in my personal opinion, if you look at it from a standpoint of, oh, I can't believe I can't believe that happened, where he had a easy touchdown, basically. No, I don't want to say, I don't know if I want to say it's an easy touchdown, but it was something that probably shouldn't have happened, and it did. What are you going to do? You just move on. The defense, in my opinion, played outstanding, even when Aaron Rodgers was put, in a cart. That was literally like the most heartbreaking thing, was that he not only got hurt, but then turned out he had to get onto a cart and then get into a walking boot. Now, I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I just found like his whole going to New York thing, I did not like it. It was kind of annoying. But at the end of the day with the Bills, the deep ball just did not work. He was overthrowing receivers and on those deep passes. And sometimes I think what Josh was really trying to do was basically shut up all the hype that the Jets were having. And I wouldn't say he almost did, but that last drive where they drove down the field and, kicked a field goal that almost, it ended up hitting the uprights and going through. But it was definitely a loss that you didn't really want to see coming. But yet again, I think about it. If you really, really think that was a terrible game by Josh Allen, I don't think it was. I mean, okay, it was bad. But also, are the Bills bad? No, because they almost won the game with their quarterback turning the ball over 4 times, 3 interceptions and the fumble. I think he needs to learn. He needs to be better on not bailing on a play. For example, when you see him rushing, like if the pocket's kind of collapsing or it doesn't look like he finds anything, he immediately just gets out of, just scrambles. I wish that this was a different outcome, obviously, but I think that in the grand scheme of things, I really look at it from a fact of your quarterback played terrible and you still almost won the game. I don't want to say we're getting close to 2019 Josh Allen, but it's getting a little close to it. And obviously, this is the soft part of your schedule right now. And also, it's only week 1. That's all it is. It's just week 1. Because if say this is happening in week 10, then I might be a little bit more concerned, but it's only 1 game. So if you're a Bills fan thinking that he's, you're stressed out about something, I wouldn't be. I think that honestly, Josh Allen had a bad game, but the Bills almost won, and they lost in a most ridiculous way on a punt return for a touchdown. I think they did that. That happened against the Jets one time years ago, where they returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Now that is bad, but this one was just ugly. I think that the 4th turnover by Josh Allen, the fumble, he should have just fallen down. I know he's trying to make a play and he's trying to be Superman, but I think that we're getting to this sugar high Josh Allen again, and this is a side of Josh Allen that Bills fans do not want to see again. People don't want to see Josh Allen become this, like, I got to be Superman throwing this ball and, making big plays. So, in my opinion, he just needs to be smarter with the ball. And you're seeing, like you saw Sean McDermott pointing to his head, like, be smart. So I think that he wants his quarterback to make sure that he is smart with the football. And I think that he will be more smarter. Now, do I expect a turnover free game from Josh Allen? Probably not. But I do expect a better bounce back game come Sunday. So that also gets into my keys of the game. The keys of the game, we're going to the home opener against the Las Vegas Raiders. Some of my keys to the game that I wrote down were, I feel like the number one thing is stopping the run. You have Josh Jacobs coming in. He was the NFL's leading rusher, and I think that that's going to be the big thing to deal with. Also, 0 turnovers. Do not give the Raiders a short field. I think that if you give them a short field, then it's going to end up leading to, obviously, your defense being tired, not being able to hold them up. So that would be one of my keys to the game. Another key to the game: get other receivers other than Stephon Diggs involved. The second leading receiver on the team in that game was, I believe, Gabe Davis. He only had 2 catches for 36 yards. I think that if you're the Bills, you got to make sure that Stephon Diggs is not the only one that's being targeted or catching passes. Deontay Hardy, I want to see more of him. They were throwing to him early and often. He didn't really get any yards after the catch like he normally does. So I think that that's going to be super important for him, is to make sure that he gets his yards after the catch. For the defense, I would say keep going, being aggressive like they were in week 1. I will say probably the one player that I felt like was great was Leonard Floyd. He had the sack on Rodgers that ended up taking him out of the game. He had a total for 1.5 sacks, 3 total tackles, and a pair of quarterback hurries in the game. Matt Milano, he needs to, keep doing what he's doing. I think that that's what's really going to be helpful for him, is just to keep doing your thing. Obviously, he's all pro Milano, or so I would say still be aggressive. You have Jimmy Garoppolo, who is also on the injury report with like a foot or an ankle. He's not going to be mobile, in my opinion. I think that if you are aggressive with him, he's not going to be able to find receivers that quickly. So that's what I would say is going to be my key to the game. Stay aggressive on defense. I feel like that's what's going to help you out the most. And another big key: will Davante Adams suit up? He did not practice. I think yesterday he was on the injury report with an ankle or a foot. So that would be those are my keys to the game. Stop the rushing attack of the Raiders. 0 turnovers. Get other receivers other than Stephon Diggs more involved. Want to see more from Hardy and Sherfield. Go after the quarterback and, be aggressive against Davante Adams, because I feel like there's not really that many great wide receivers or targets outside of Adams on the Raiders. All right. Now we're on to my picks of the week for each game. Let me try and pull up some NFL music. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Last week I went 9-7. I obviously had I got the Falcons win right, the Jaguars game right, the the Saints, 49ers, Commanders, Ravens, the Raiders game, the Eagles, and the Dolphins. Those were my wins. Now, I did have some losses. I was not expecting the Bengals to end up laying an egg in the rain. Now, I think it was going to rain? No. So these are going to be my picks of the week. The first game, Thursday Night Football, Eagles at Vikings, I believe, right? Oh no, Vikings at Eagles. Excuse me. So it's in Philadelphia. So I have this incorrect. So let me take that down. But Vikings Eagles. If you can't beat Baker Mayfield, you're not going to beat Jalen Hurts. And I still think that this defense is still incredible. And I think the offense got off to a sluggish start. They'll be fine. Next game, we're going to go Raiders Bills. Of course, I misspelled Raiders. I didn't put the S. Raiders Bills. I'm going with the Bills in this one. I think that the Bills by far have the better roster, and I think that they are poised to, do this again. Packers at Falcons. I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. They surprised me last week. I had the Bears win in this game, and the Packers found a way to win and win in dominating fashion. So we're going to go with the Green Bay, and, Atlanta looks good, but I still believe that looking at it from coaching, I like Matt LaFleur a little bit more as a head coach. And Jordan Love, so far, he's looked good, and I think that he will continue to look good going into week 2. Ravens at Bengals. This might be one of the big matchup of the week. But I do believe that having home field advantage, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. And it's going to be a tough one. I think this is going to be one of the biggest matchups of the week. Seahawks at Lions. I'm going with the Lions on this one. The Seahawks, I thought they would have beaten the Rams. There's no way you're beating the Lions. The Lions are one of those up-and-coming teams that I really like. Oh, great. My alarm went off. Sorry about that. So Seahawks at Lions, give me the Lions on this one. Chargers at Titans. The Chargers laid an egg, but also they put up a lot of points, and I like it. So I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one, even though they're going on the road. Bears at Buccaneers. I'm gonna ride with the Bears again. Just gonna give it a shot. Hopefully, everything pans out for me. I'm gonna go with the Bears in this one, taking it on the road. Been taking a couple of road teams so far, back to back. Chiefs, Jaguars. This is probably one of the best games. Divisional playoff rematch from a season ago. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. No disrespect to the Jaguars, but I think now you got Chris Jones back. Travis Kelce is probably going to be all good and ready to go. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one, and they're going to go 1-1, and they're going to show you why they won the Super Bowl last year. Colts, Texans. I'm going to go with the Colts on this one. Even though they lost to Jacksonville, I felt like there was a lot of promise with Anthony Richardson. He looked good, and, I'm still not sold on the Texans just because they're the Houston Texans, and I just don't trust them. 49ers at Rams. The 49ers looked like the best team the entire week, especially with how they looked against a tough Steelers defense. I'm going to go with the 49ers on this one. The Rams, they made a surprise beating Seattle, but they're not going to win against the 49ers. They might be 49ers might be the best team in the NFC right now. Giants at Cardinals. Now, the Giants, they laid a goose egg, literally, 40-0. But I'm still going to ride with Brian Daboll, and I think that they'll be fine. And I honestly think the Cardinals could go winless this season. Jets at Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. The Cowboys might be they looked from week 1, they looked really good. And going up against Zach Wilson, I highly doubt that. I'm not expecting much. All right. Commanders at Broncos. I think that the Broncos get back on track. This is a definitely a coin toss, but I'm going to go with the Broncos because of who is the better coaching and who has the better quarterback. And right now, the Broncos have both of them. Dolphins at Patriots. The Dolphins are going to destroy New England. The Dolphins look like they could challenge the Bills for the AFC East, and I would not be surprised if they beat out Buffalo for the AFC East. And Tua looks good. Tyreek Hill looks incredible. Best receiver in football right now. And the Patriots are going to try and put up a fight, but it's not going to work. All right. Now we got Saints at Panthers. I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. I just think that right now the Saints have a better offense and a better quarterback at this moment. And I think that the Panthers are going to go through some growing pains. I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers, pull off an upset at home. But I'm going to go with the Saints in this one. All right. The other Monday Night Football matchup, Saints and Panthers, was the first Monday night. Browns Steelers. The Steelers did not look good, but I am a little concerned about Deshaun Watson. I feel like that the Steelers are going to have a bounce back game, and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh with this one. It's a tough one. I definitely could see this being a defensive slugfest, and in my opinion, I feel like the Steelers have the best defense. So those will be my picks of the week. I have the Eagles winning, the Bills, the Packers, Bengals, Lions, Titans, Bears, Chiefs, Colts, 49ers, Giants, Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, and that's it. And then the Browns, Steelers. Excuse me, the Steelers. Oh my goodness, what am I thinking? All right. Those are my picks. Tell me where I'm wrong. If you feel like, Evan, you're such an idiot, how can you say this? Or, Evan, you're such an idiot. Josh Allen did not look poor. Please tell me. Follow me on Twitter at Evan Depot 2. You'll see it right here. If you're listening on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube and you have a question or a comment that you want me to answer in the next episode that we will make sure we get done on Tuesday, let me know. Evan Depot 2. And we'll maybe even get into some Sabres talk because the Sabres Prospect Challenge is coming up tomorrow. We're getting back to hockey, baby, and I'm super excited about the Sabres season. And I'm super excited. So, those would be that will happen on the next episode of Depot's Den. We'll be talking some obviously the Bills Raiders game. Hopefully, it come out with a win, and we'll see what their matchup is in the against the Commanders in week 3. So that'll do it for this episode of Depot's Den. I've been Evan DePasquale. I hope you enjoyed listening to this recent episode and look forward to hearing from you next time. And again, if you have any questions that you want me to answer or comments or something like that, I will do my best to answer them on the next episode of Depot's Den. Till then, we will see you next time. Go Bills.